Hello, I'm Carol Gillespie, and thank you for joining us for an evening of Asian American Donor Program's 30th anniversary 600 Cranes. But because you came here early, in our little waiting room, we have something very special for you. No one else will
No
see
one
it
else will
except for
see
those
it
people
except for
that
those
came
people
early.
that came
So
early.
I
So
appreciate you
I
coming
appreciate you
early.
coming early.
Appreciate your
Appreciate your
sponsorship and your
sponsorship and your
dedication and
dedication
commitment to
and
saving
commitment to
lives over
saving
the past
lives over
30
the past
years.
30 years.
And I hope you
And I
enjoy
hope you
the evening.
enjoy the evening.
And
And
like
I
to
would
now
like to
introduce
now
you
introduce
to
you
Dauood.
to
Take it
Dauood.
away.
Take it away.
Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for joining us on this Zoom call. It looks like we're going to have a lot of fun. First thing I'm going to start off with is if you have your rosé, I recommend cracking it open right now. Comedy is always better when you are drunk. It is just a known fact. I recommend it. Also, this one has a soundtrack to it. That is the first I've ever seen. I've never bought alcohol with a soundtrack to it. Um, I think most of my alcohol has a soundtrack to it, but it's mostly just depressing music. So it's pretty cool that you can go to Spotify and listen to Nomadic, and it's a good time. With that said, I'm gonna just tell you guys some jokes until the real show starts up, get you guys warmed up, and just start going. And if you have any comments, don't be afraid to chat. I don't know if I see them. I might see them. We will do our best. Hopefully, there's not too much echo. I can stand a little bit closer to the mic. Okay. With that said, here we go. I am in a relationship. I've been going to I've been going to couples therapy recently. I've been going to couples therapy. It's fun. It's great. It's a lot of work. I'm not in a relationship. I just found out it's cheaper if I split it with my best friend Mark. That's something you can do. They don't even check. And he talks for 30 minutes. It's a pretty good deal. Downside is I haven't learned anything about myself, but I have learned to love Mark more. So there are some benefits to it. Um, COVID is going on right now. That's kind of rough for a lot of people. I get it. It's a tough time. I try to look at the bright side of things. One of the bright sides of COVID, everybody made fun of me for getting a degree from an online college, but everybody's getting degrees from online schools now. It's pretty great. It feels nice. The playing field is even again. Like, yeah, mine's is from DeVry and yours is from Berkeley. They're both printed. That's all that matters. uh, I don't know. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on. I've been flying a lot. I have been flying nonstop, which is I know the worst time to fly, but I do my best, to enjoy life even though everything's going on. I recently also got TSA pre-check recently. Does anybody have that? Huh? Hit in the comments if you have it. I'm assuming you guys have it. You guys, yes, thank you. It's so great. I love it so much. It's like $80. It's a pretty good deal. It's a little different if you're Muslim. What happens is I pay $80 for like the 4 years, and I get to skip the line and I go directly to the back room to get searched. It's a pretty good deal. Highly recommend it. It's pretty great. I love it. It's good to be Muslim. What else is going on? I have been dating during COVID, and it's kind of hard to date right now because of everything that's going on. Um, COVID is making dates way harder, and I've been getting ghosted a lot. And I like to think it's not my personality and it's COVID, but who knows? Getting ghosted sucks, but getting haunted is way worse. So I'll take it. But I have been on the dating apps, and also this is amazing. I have been on the dating apps, and I've noticed every single woman's profile has the exact same requirement before you can even talk to them. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Put in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. You guys are too slow. I'm going to just tell you height. Height is the answer. And when I say that, a lot of women time up. They don't believe me. But my best friend, he's a short guy. And he goes, short guy, tall woman is the new interracial dating. And I'm like, that's not a fair comparison, right? You can't compare racial inequality to short guy discrimination. Those are two different things. Like there was never a time in this country where short men couldn't use the same water fountains as us or anything. Like technically they couldn't, but but they were allowed to. That's what matters. That's equality. And I like short men. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to pick on anybody. I love short men. I'm not trying to discriminate. It's just that short guys hate me because of my face, right? Because like I'm tall, but like I look like I'm uncoordinated. And every time I walk into a bar, there's a short guy picking on me who's like, you know what? I want to fight Middle Eastern David Schwimmer. Okay, that's very hurtful. Raw some friends. I didn't even know I look like that. He called me David Shawarma. It hurt so much. I'm still sensitive to it. I have a weird look. I get it. I'm blonde for no reason. That throws a lot of people off. All right. People don't know how to kind of deal with me. They're like alt-right Al Qaeda. There's a lot going on with my face. So I totally get it. But I have been self-conscious about it because I was just, hanging outside before the show, and some drunk guy walks up to me and goes, "Are you Uber?" And I'm like, "What? No, I didn't even have a car with me." I'm like, "No, I'm a person." And and but I don't know. It's crazy times. My dad's an Uber driver. I think that's where I get my looks from. I don't know if you guys that's how genetics works. Do you guys have parents? Is that relatable? People have parents. Make some noise. You have parents. I'm gonna assume you made noise because I would hope. I don't want to get into it. That could be tragic. My dad's an Uber driver. It's pretty cool. I used to want my parents to get divorced growing up because like all my friends who had divorced parents told me that they got two Christmases. And as a Muslim kid, that sounded amazing, right? To go from 0 to 2, that sounded so great. So many more Christmases. Now what happened though? They did get divorced, and I ended up getting 2 Ramadans. I'm very hungry. I'm very hungry. It's been months. I'm starving. A lot of people like to ask me, "Is that how that works?" That's not how that works. They don't starve you. They just stop loving you. Okay. I feel like this should be cold. I'm drinking it warm, which it brings out the flavor. Okay. What else do I want to talk about? I've couples therapy. I've done that. I do talk a lot about race in my act. I like to tone it down sometimes, but you guys seem cool. And it's a weird time for race, right? The country's very divided. He doesn't know what, like, it's, they're choosing sides and stuff. Like everything's racist or nothing's racist. People are picking sides. And like growing up, a whole bunch of kids in my neighborhood, they got red spray paint and they spray painted all over my family's garage that said, "F you, raghead," and a 6 and a 9. And my family's like, "Oh my God, this is a terrible neighborhood. These kids are racist. We have to move." What my family didn't know was that Raghead 69 was my Xbox username. Yeah, it turns out they're just a bunch of sore losers, not really racist. I was surprised they did that. We were in the same friend group. We were I don't know why they did that to me. Why would White Power 420 do that? We were in the same clan, but he's just a sore loser. But okay, there we go. Now I can see some of the comments. I was in the wrong screen. Anyways, do you guys remember my name? I'm sure some of you can see it, but do you guys remember it? Type it in if you're fast enough. Someone just said yes. Thank you, Betsy, for just saying yes instead of saying the name. I appreciate that. Thank you. I like how someone spelled it wrong, even though you can see it. My name is Dauood. I like asking like live audiences usually to see if they're paying attention. And I asked this a week ago at a show, and someone yelled out Muhammad, right? And I was so offended. I was like, "Why would you say that?" And the guy looks at me, goes, "Well, buddy, I didn't know your name, and Muhammad's the most common name in the world. So because of probability, I just gotta assume your name is Muhammad." And I'm like, this is one smart racist. And my middle name is Muhammad. So he was technically right. Technically right. Couldn't even be mad at the guy. But I don't know. It's crazy times. Let's see if I can talk about someone else now. Oh, thank you. It's a little lag. I was like, nobody laughed at that, but I'm seeing the LOLs now. I appreciate y'all. I try to pay attention to stuff though, because my cousins, they don't care about anything. They're like, you know what? Nothing in the news is going to affect us. Tijuana, this summer, you're coming with us. I'm like, have you been paying attention to anything? This is the worst time for 5 Muslim men to go to Mexico, right? Like, how are we going to get back in the country? Could you imagine that? Be like, no, officer, no, we're not Mexican. We're Mexican. We're Mexican. That's right. Gracias. Queso. Despacito. Thank you so much. Another sip. Mm. Don't let the faces fool you. I'm just not a good drinker. That stuff is amazing. Haha, and sad face. I appreciate that. That's kind of what my comedy is. It's like haha, but also that hurts. That's the realest stuff. Thank you. I appreciate you. Work on your Spanish. Thank you. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. What else can I talk about? Let's talk about something a little bit. I try not to talk about politics too much. Also, real quick, I don't want to seem like I'm lying to you guys. You guys have been a lot of fun. This microphone's not even plugged in. This is just a prop. This is really just for me. It has nothing. I don't even need it. It's not even on. It's just I have another microphone over here. So I don't want to lie to you guys. It just feels weird. But with that said, let's get into it. I've been going to the protests. Have you guys? Where was the mic check? That's pretty funny, Sid. I've started going to protests. I went to a protest in a Black Lives Matter protest in Danville, California. I don't know if you guys have ever been there. It's a predominantly very white place, and it's cool. I have no problem with it. But it's pretty interesting to show up to a Black Lives Matter protest, and they're like, "Oh my God, you made it!" I'm like, "What?" They're like, "You're the only minority here." I'm like, "That's not okay." Like, you need to speak. I'm like, "That's not what I came here to do. I'm not prepared for this." But I spoke about the Black experience the best I could, and I think I handled it well. Danville, California. Danville, California. If you don't know it, Google it. It is 99.8% white. I am the only minority person in the whole city. With that said, I have learned a lot of different things about the police since I've been going to Black Lives Matter protest. Like, I learned this statistic the other day. Hopefully you guys like this joke. It's a little bit much. Let's see if you guys are about it. I found out that women cops shoot significantly less people than their male counterparts. That's crazy, right? That they think they deserve to get paid the same. Like that. They should get paid more. Before you get offended, they should get paid more. That is the joke. Let me finish. Okay. That might have been too much. I'll tone it back down. Some of you liked it. I love that joke. It's my favorite joke because a lot of people think I'm super liberal, but that joke shows you that I'm moderate because it's for everybody. That joke it's for the left and the right, right? Because the liberals love that joke because they don't like police that much, and the conservatives love that joke because they don't like women that much. So it's like perfect for everybody, right? Everybody can laugh at that joke. We're all centrist this year, Laura. That is 100%. I agree. Women should be paid more. I'm going to do one more joke about dating, and I'm going to get out of here because you guys have been wonderful. But real quick, I've been dating a lot of white women, not because it's preference, just more of them. And a lot of my brown friends always ask me, like, "Hey, Dauood, how do you get white women to speak to you? Like, what is your secret?" And it's very simple. All you have to do to get brown women to speak to you is work really hard at your job. One day you're gonna get promoted to like a manager position, and then the white women will just ask to speak to you. I don't know what it is, but they love to bring it to the manager. It's their favorite thing in the entire world. I can say that. Look at my hair. All right, thank you guys so much for letting me warm you guys up. You guys have been wonderful. Hope you guys enjoy the show and drink this stuff. This stuff is amazing. Listen to the soundtrack. Thank you guys so much. I'm gonna pass it off to the other comedians.
Yay! Oh my God, Dauood, my brother, he is hilarious. Oh my God!
Oh my God, you couldn't hear us, but I was dying.
Yeah,
I was trying to comment in the chat box, like LOL, ha ha ha.
We need it. He made me want to take an Uber to Danville, wear my Crocs, where I feel safe.
And you want to look at my dating profile and be like, you have toilet paper in your dating profile. You also have the negative COVID test. You're good in my book.
That's hilarious. I am the short guy. I'm 5'6", and I am in a booster chair right now. So yes, I'm excited to be here.
It doesn't matter. It's all virtual. It's all virtual. Well, welcome everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. I know it's virtual, so you could be literally tuning in from everywhere or anywhere in the world. Welcome to the 30th anniversary celebration for our Asian American Donor Program. I'm so excited to be here tonight and joined by my friend and former co-worker, Joey Guila.
Yes, what's up? We used to work together. I was the manager at Orange Julius. No, I was playing. But I miss working with you, and I was so excited when they said you're gonna work with Nicki. I was like, yes. I was doing my happy Nicki dance. This is a Nicki dance right here.
That's the Nicki dance. I mean, he's doing the Naggy on stage.
Yeah.
But before we continue, I hear it's someone's birthday, so I actually got a little something.
No way. What?
I got a little cake.
What? You got me a cake?
Fire.
Oh my God.
And in the chat room, I know like you can only hear my audio, and I might be a little embarrassed singing it by myself. So I will sing happy birthday if everybody in the chat room right now will sing with me on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Joey. Happy birthday to you. Okay, blow it out, man. Blow it out. Oh, look at that!
Oh, that was so nice. Oh my God. You know, my breath came because the phone got bigger. Oh my God.
Celebrate your big day with us. And I just got to say, talking about birthdays and how cancer has affected our lives, I know you have a personal story, and sometimes a birthday, when you get a transplant, it's a second chance at life, and it's almost like a second birthday. So would you mind sharing with the audience how AADP has touched you and your involvement with them?
Oh, definitely, yes. And they have helped me so much. And so I started my healing journey in the 90s, where I actually needed a bone marrow transplant. I had 4th stage Hodgkin's twice. So they were like, we're going to try something called a bone marrow transplant. I didn't even know what it was. I was like, yes, I'll take 2 of those, please. But yeah, and oh my gosh. And I was just so lucky, so fortunate. And it worked, and I'm here. And that's why I was just so excited to be a part of this and to spread the word and to let other people know they can help others who are in need. And oh my gosh. And I said to myself, when I'm in remission, I want to do something to heal people. So I always watch stand-up comedy, and I said, oh my gosh, this is healing. So when I'm in remission, I too want to be a stand-up comedian, but also I wanted to model for, like, you know, at taco trucks. I was always at taco trucks too. But yeah, I just that was my goal, is to bring healing laughter. And because of my setback, I think it just brought me up for this new setup, and I think this is all meant to be. And I'm just so happy to be, you know, coasting with you, Nicki, and you got some special things and a special connection with the AADP family. Would you like to share that as well?
Yeah, so thank you for sharing your story, first of all, and it's a blessing that you're here and that you use like your second chance at life to bring laughter and healing to other people. So I'm just very blessed to be here with you, Joey, and especially on your birthday. It means so much. But the Asian American Donor Program has been a nonprofit very near and dear to my heart since 2005. When my dad was diagnosed with stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer. I had no idea what cancer was at the time. And I think that's a testament to how we all feel about certain causes in our lives, right? We really don't care sometimes unless we are affected or someone we know in our family is affected. And that's the really serious thing about becoming a bone marrow registrant. I've been on the registry since 2005, and you know, AADP really stepped in and helped my family during the time, because there's a huge critical need for more multi-ethnic, Asian, Black, Hispanic donors on the registry. I mean, if you want to break down facts, you know, less than 41% Asians can actually have a survival rate of finding a donor, and that's less than half. So if you're diagnosed with a blood-related disease, cancer, to feel like you only have less than a 50% chance of survival rate, that's like really upsetting. And I would just encourage everybody to really not only donate and, you know, get yourself registered, but like spread the word and also educate yourself a little bit about how to participate and join in, because unfortunately my dad passed away, and less than 30% in your family can be a match. And so I'm here to spread the word, to raise awareness, to help educate. And today I'm talking to everybody in the chat room. Please, if it's in your heart, click that green button to the right of the screen and hit donate. Oh my gosh, are we already at $10,000?
No way. My cheap cousins are not. Where's my cheap cousins?
Oh my gosh, I didn't even have to ask so many things, but again, like all the ticket prices and also everything that you donate today in the cards on Paybe, we're just going to try to raise as much money as possible, and this cannot happen without our sponsors. So Joey, let's kick it off and thank some of our sponsors here.
Yes, I like to thank our sponsors. Here we go. Green TV, PG&E, and Urban Tortilla.
I like the way you say it.
I got Mexican stepdad, that's why. You put sour cream on everything. Sour cream on spaghetti.
We also want to thank our commit sponsors. So Lanzhou hand pulled noodles. Speaking of which, I made my own noodles today, but I might have to hit you up for some actual hand pulled noodles. And Sam Wu Restaurant.
Oh, that sounds good. I'd like to thank Cantor's Official Furniture. That's Cantor's official furniture for the white folks. And this symbol right here, I don't. Okay. It's Lambda Phi Epsilon. Did I pronounce that right?
You know, we can tell that you've never been in a fraternity or a sorority.
I went to night school in Vallejo. That's where I went. and I'd like to thank Pension Benefit Consultants. Thank you all.
Well, again, thank you so much to our sponsors. We have such an amazing show tonight. I just wanted to just quickly, knowing that this is interactive, we're doing our best that we can in terms of looking at all the screens. But if you're on your computer right now, if you can drop down in the comments, where are you all tuning in from? I know I have friends and family. I want to shout out my friends and family. I want to shout out the friends and family that are here for Joey and also for his birthday. Oh, wow. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Oceanside.
Oh, Oceanside, Lincoln. California. Woohoo!
Oh.
I know we can't hear you, but I just want to keep the energy up. Again, we have a lot of participants who are donors, who are patients, who are just supporters. So let's keep this a nice healing space for everybody. Share your stories. We're all here to support you, and we're here to continue raising awareness and education for the need of more bone marrow donors of multiple ethnicities. So thank you all for tuning in so much. And speaking of which, I got to introduce our first speaker. He is the founder of Asian American Donor Program, a person who is very near and dear to my heart, who was my dad's golf buddy with the loudmouth pants and best friend. This would not have happened without this man's vision. I want to introduce Jonathan Leong.
Yes.
Wow, 30 years. 30 years is unbelievable. Do you remember what you were doing 30 years ago? This organization started for the simple reason of saving lives, and our mission statement has never changed. 30 years ago, we had 2 patients that needed to find a match. There weren't any. So this organization started to register people to become bone marrow donors, stem cell donors, same thing, but bone marrow donors. And there is such a specific relationship between your ethnicity and who your match is. I always say that who's going to match you if you ever need a bone marrow transplant is someone that's probably going to look like you and like the same food you eat. So in 30 years, what did we do? Why 600? 600 cranes. What does that mean? 600 cranes mean we possibly saved in excess of 600 lives of people that we match based on the people that we have recruited to be donors in the last 30 years. So in 30 years, we recruited enough people to possibly save 600 lives. Before that, there were no options for people who had leukemia or blood cancer. And of course, we don't do this on our own. We do this with a lot of people. And during this hour and a half of watching this program, if we didn't mention your name, we are so sorry to get you on, because we had so many volunteers, we had so many recruiters. I mean, it's just amazing the number of people that have been involved in 30 years of this organization to be where it is today. I like to give kudos to our godfather who really helped us out. He had the foresight to really understand that the big side that's missing in terms of the National Marrow Program when it was created to find unrelated donors. It was Dr. Perkins, who was head of Irwin Blood Bank back 30 years ago. And without his support and his forward thinking, we wouldn't be here, because he ran a blood bank. He gave us massive amount of support. We had to do the legwork. We had to get the people to donate. We had to get the people to sign up. And the combination worked very well. Without Dr. Perkins, I don't think AADP might not have even been here. But the shortage is still there. Minorities were not on lists. So that's when the government funding and the military came involved and really helped us do outreach. And we went from testing a few every time we collected $100 to actually testing thousands, and that really helped push the numbers up. So 60 to 40, there's a lot of interesting facts, and you'll probably hear some of it later on going through this hour and a half. So I'd like to welcome you all and thank you all for peeking in and taking a look at 30 years of work and 30 years of results, and that results is getting larger and larger every month, because more and more people are on the registry and the number of people that we can match have increased. So remember, even though we are now recruiting between 18 and 44, and even though you're not in that age bracket, you know a lot of people that are, especially relatives. And if you can get more and more people to register, the chance of finding a match within the diverse Asian community would be better. So thank you for peeking in. The first 10 years of the Asian American Donor Program, our first decade, organization was started because of the need of two individuals, Amanda Chang and Judith Burkhoff. They were in need of a transplant. There were very little, if any, Asians on the registry. The first drives we did were with Irwin Blood Bank because of our support with Dr. Perkins from the Irwin Blood Bank helped create the Asian American Donor Program. We typed about 3,000 people in the beginning months of the organization. Donna, who was also one of our first patients, we found a match for her. She had a successful transplant, and later on she became one of our big supporters and also to help us continue outreach. In 1992, there was a contract that was signed with the National Marrow Donor Program, which helped us start recruiting. In 1993, we also met with the San Jose Suchi Foundation. We met them, and they really liked our mission, and because it's a similar mission to their organization with their foundation in Taiwan. So they have an Buddhist organization that circumvent the world. So that became our first international outreach organization. With them, we were able to type many Asians all over the world because their organization had that link. In the 90s, we had a big drive through Evan Chen, who was a member of the Lambda Pi Epsilon fraternity in Stanford. He had leukemia, and because of the efforts of the family and someone specifically, his name is Yul Kwon, he'll be speaking later, is that he recruited in excess of 2,000 donors to the registry. Yul Kwon, who was at Stanford at the same time, practically left the school so that he could spend full time helping his friend look for a match. And Yul Kwon has been active with our organization ever since. 1997 to 1999, I was made vice chair of the national organization, and in doing so, I pushed the minority outreach programs where it became the number one priority for any bone marrow drive in the country that needs. The first focus was minority outreach. That pretty much closes the decade, but what's really important is we became an organization that recruited information from our donors, because guess what? In the first 10 years plus, we had to draw blood from 2 tubes to 5 tubes, and we collected lots of data of who our donors are. We also then transferred between a fundraising organization to a recruiting organization, and that allows us today to have saved in excess of 600 lives from our efforts.
Wow.
That's a wonderful video.
It's always so moving, and always so moving when I hear about Yul and his best friend Evan, and to drop out of school to create drives. Can you imagine doing that, Joey, nowadays? Like dropping out of school for your best friend to help them find a match. Like that's how critical
Yes.
it is.
And that's a real friend. I you know what? I don't even have friends anymore. I need a Yul friend. Yul, you be my friend.
I'll be your friend, and you will be your friend. And we're so excited because just letting you know, we have Yul Kwon, who happens to be the Survivor winner, by the way, the first Asian American and only Asian American to win Survivor. But he'll be on later tonight, and we'll have him live. So if you have any questions, get ready for them because you'll able to drop your questions in the chat later. But I just want to say that all the proceeds from tonight's show is going to go to the donor recruitment program to help more blood cancer patients in our community. So again, thank you so much. There is a donate button to the right of the screen. Please donate. Oh my gosh, we just passed $11,000, Joey.
What? Oh my God, I should have my reading glasses. I can see that.
I know, it's like a command plus.
Amazing. Oh my God.
So incredible. And let's talk about where the money will go. So let's talk about the pledges. Joey, can you kick us off with our highest pledge level right now at $500?
Yes,
what can $500 help AADP with?
Okay, it'll start off with the $500 level. $500 will help AADP recruit 5 new donors. The cost to register 1 new donor onto the registry is $100.
Yep. And again, like the nonprofit organization that AADP is, it allows for multi-ethnic and Asian donors to register for free. But in exchange, all the money that we're raising helps more multi-ethnic donors to register. So please donate and know that $100 equals 1 new registrant that we can get on the registry. I just want to share a couple of patient stories for those of you who might not be familiar with how critical the need is. We have Estella. Estella was diagnosed with leukemia and received a transplant from an imperfect match just because she didn't have enough time to wait. So while it's the best to match with someone who's perfect, but unfortunately we are not privileged to have such a perfect match at times just because there's a huge shortage of ethnic and multi-ethnic donors on the registry. But because it wasn't a perfect match, she recently relapsed and she's in urgent need to find a perfectly matched donor. So if you are Asian, especially Korean, please join the registry and you might be the one just to save her life. And I'm gonna talk about the next level of pledging. We're talking for $300 now. And for $300, we are able to send home kits to patients in need. Also, due to the pandemic, we are now encouraging people to register at home. It's really simple. All you have to do is order home kits via AADP's website, AADP.org. You can do that right now. And they will mail you the kit to your home. And Joey, remember the days when we had to register for things? We had to get blood pricked and stuff?
Yes, that's when I would just pass out, but not no more.
But not anymore. These home kits is just a cotton swab to the cheek. And that's been the case since 2005. I've been on the registry myself since 2005 because Lord knows if I ever got the call that somebody needed a match to save their life, I would do it in a heartbeat. And I think we need to get as many people on the registry as possible. So if you want to do more research, because obviously I don't want anybody to just sign up without knowing more about it, but we really could use you on the registry, especially if you're multi-ethnic, especially if you're multiracial, especially if you're Asian. Please consider not only donating, but joining the registry as well.
Yes, definitely. And for $100, $100 will help us register 1 new donor and share patient stories with the community to increase the visibility.
Absolutely. And I just want to talk about stats a little bit. Can I get my producer to bring up the stats on, like, you know, our by breakdown of ethnicity? So just letting you know that this is the current stats as we see it right now. And as you can see, 41% of the time, the odds of finding a match in the Asian American community, that is the survival rate, and are able to find a match. Whereas versus Caucasians are able to find a match 77% of the time. And then in the Black or African American communities, only 23% of the time are they able to find a match. So these are real numbers, and it's really critical that we get as many Asian and multi-ethnic and Black and Hispanic donors on the registry, so we can really diversify the National Bone Marrow Registry.
Yes.
And then beyond pledging and donating, we also have a silent auction, which I'm really excited about. Joey, can you tell us what the silent auction items are? Just some of the.
Yeah. Yes, I surely can. Yeah, I got a whole list right here. All right. Last auction I did had chickens and cows and slippers, but this one's a little different.
This one's, I think, a level up.
All right, Warrior fans, there's a signed autograph basketball with a certificate of authenticity. That's right. Golden State Warriors. Oh my gosh. That's right. And also we have a jersey, a Golden State Warriors jersey, signed by Marquise Chris. He's amazing. A new guy, young, strong, talented. And that's also that's authentic too. So these aren't fake. The ones I get are fake from San Jose Flea Market.
You're a Warriors fan. Make sure you drop it in
the I get the bootleg one.
We want the authentic.
Oh my gosh. This one right here, I'm getting nervous to say this because someone's going to get a chance to in-person lunch with Yul Kwon himself. Yes, at Sizzlers in Vallejo. No, I'm just kidding. No.
Yesterday you were like,
oh my gosh, this guy's amazing, man. He's a good heart, good soul, and I like an Asian brother with facial hair. I trust him because we got facial hair. I trust him. And as you know, he's also the winner on Survivor. That'd be just amazing just to hang out with him. And also, oh my gosh, how about this? Olympian Christy Yamaguchi Reading Adventure. A set of 3 books signed by her and a private Zoom box reading by Christy Yamaguchi for 10 kids. That's right, 10 kids. Wouldn't that be so fun? Just to have her read. Oh my gosh. Oh, and for the seafood fans, okay? If you don't have gout, you can definitely, ready to eat crab feet for 10 with grilled vegetables and a case of wine. That's amazing. All right, we have a lot of foodies out there. And let's see. And all the Filipinos will know if is there rice. I'm sure there'll be rice. Okay. And there are 2 paintings for sale on our silent auction by Juliet Leong. She's so cute. Jonathan and Willa's 4-year-old daughter. Oh, and just let you guys know, she won first place for her painting at the National Music at Home Christmas Art Contest for kids 3 to 8 years old. So you know what? You better get your hands on this. This girl is amazing. Look how cute she is. Oh my gosh.
She is adorable. I follow her. I feel like I follow her because I see her on Jonathan's Facebook feed all the time. And she's the smartest 4-year-old I have ever seen. And you can actually bid on her paintings. So make sure you go to AADP.org/auction. The auction will be live until Sunday. So if you want that in-person lunch with Yul or like a private Zoom reading with Olympian Christy Yamaguchi, shout out to Fremont, that's where we're both from, make your way over to AADP.org/auction. Again, all the proceeds will go back to AADP, so you get something while giving something at the same time. I also want to look at the chat because now I can finally see the names of who has given. I just want to shout out a couple of people here. Beyond the founder, Jonathan, pledging $500. Thank you very much, Jonathan. We have Sid, who also put down $500. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Sid. We also have a $100 pledge from Carmen and another $100 from Ajib. So thank you so much. Continue to keep donating. We're just going to raise as much money as we can to register as many more bone marrow donors as we possibly can. This is incredible. But I'm really excited to introduce our keynote speaker. Yul Kwon. And Yul Kwon was the best friend of Evan Chen, the patient of AADP that you saw in the video. He has been working very closely with AADP ever since Evan was diagnosed with leukemia. And he'll be sharing his memory with Evan and how this experience with Evan changed his life trajectory. And just a reminder to the audience, get your questions ready, because after his keynote, we'll be able to chat live with Yul Kwon right after, and we'll be pulling some questions from the audience. So get ready. Here is Yul Kwon.
Hey everyone, I'm just so excited to be here to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Asian American Donor Program with you. What a remarkable accomplishment. I just thought I might share my own story and history with the organization, which goes back over 25 years. For me, it started back when I was in college. I was a sophomore at Stanford, and my best friend from childhood, Evan Chen, and I had gotten into school together, and in our sophomore year, we were roommates. And later that year, Evan was diagnosed with leukemia, and his doctors basically determined that his only chance at survival was to have a bone marrow transplant. And unfortunately, back then, as is still the case today, there weren't enough Asian Americans who had registered to become bone marrow donors. And so Evan couldn't find a match in the National Registry, and we spent all of our time trying to organize bone marrow drives in a desperate effort to find him a match. And I remember how hard it was back then. We felt so scared and we felt so alone. And in that time of need, AADP stepped in and gave us support and guidance and what felt like a fighting chance. And I'll never forget that. I'll just never forget how much it meant to us to have these amazing people really give us that support and give us a chance at life. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for my friend. He ended up passing away, but that experience just touched me in so many different ways. And I decided that if I ever had the opportunity to give back to help other people in need, like my friend, I would. And ironically, I got that opportunity many years later. I stayed close with the organization and would organize bone marrow drives, where I could. But in 2006, I was recruited to go into a reality show, Survivor. And, I thought this was an opportunity to both represent our community and to give our community a voice and to hopefully, use this as a platform for raising awareness about issues that impact our community but don't get a lot of mainstream visibility. And so I went on the show, and one thing happened after another, and I ended up winning my season. And so after that happened, I figured, I have these 15 minutes of fame, and I want to use this to try to give back and do something positive in memory of my friend and in memory of all the wonderful things that AADP did on behalf of families, like ourselves, that were really desperate to try to find hope. And so I worked closely with AADP. For the next 2 years, I went around giving speeches, and as part of one of my conditions for giving a speech when I got invited, I made a condition that they had to let me organize a bone marrow drive. So I worked with AADP and other organizations to organize bone marrow drives for, off and on for the next 2 years. It was one of the most gratifying experiences I've ever had. It was, again, you don't get opportunities like these very often. And, I used my 15 minutes of fame in a way that I thought would honor my friend and his memory, and also pay tribute to the people at AADP who've been doing this day in, day out, year after year for so long. In my view, I feel like the people who are real heroes in all this, in my case, I feel like it was in some ways easy for me to get involved because someone who was very close to me, someone that I loved, was impacted. But the people who I think are real heroes are people who just get involved and because they can't just stand by and watch other people who are in need not get that support. And I think that describes so many of the people who are at AADP, both people like Jonathan Young as well as Carol Gillespie, who've been just like such pillars of the organization and pillars of our community for so long, but also the many different people who've worked there over the years. Like I've met so many of them and they've been so wonderful, just giving because they feel like it's the right thing to do. Uh, I've never met such a group of dedicated and just caring people in all my life. And I just want to say thank you. Like you have touched so many lives, not just my own, not just the lives of my friend and his family, but so many thousands of people who really have depended on you and for whom you gave both support and hope. Um, I hope and I hope you can feel the gratitude of so many families and so many people and so many lives that you touched. So thank you, congratulations. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so happy for you, and I'm so thankful. And I hope, I hope within the next few years, at some point we don't actually need um, to run bone marrow drives or try to get more people because there will be no need. But until then, I know that you will be there and you'll be helping every family, every person in need every step of the way. And for that, I can't thank you enough. Congratulations.
Wow.
Wow, thank you, Yul. Thank you so much, man. I was just telling Nicki, I said, I wish I had more friends like you, brother. Man,
I'm your friend. We'll be friends.
Oh my gosh. I want to be your friend.
my friend didn't even give me a Capri Sun when I was thirsty. I was like, man, I got some cheap friends. And first of all, oh my God, where do you live? It looks like IKEA. You are rich. My Lord. I got roaches in my
No,
house.
it's just an artificial background. No, everyone compliments me on the background, but the rest of my house does not look like this. It's usually like I have all the junk and kids' toys pushed out to the sides. I strategically put my chair in a way so that you can't see the stuff behind it. Yeah, the rest of my house does not look like this.
You could do like a Justin Timberlake video right now. Just oh man, well, it's so nice to hear your story, and like I said, I wish I had more friends like you, and you make me want to become a better friend. And thanks for sharing your heart and your determination and spreading the love. And I appreciate you. And I had a bone marrow transplant as well. So man, I want to give you double hugs, brother. Double. Just look at you, man. I'm like, man, this is my handsome friend. Chippendales. I think Chippendales, man. I can't show my fiance. She might get excited. Hey, don't look. Don't look. She likes the jawline. She likes Asian brothers with jawline. I don't have that. So she said, "Oh, does he have a jawline?" Don't look. But
He's
yeah,
watching in the room, Joey. So.
yeah, you guys can actually have lunch with this wonderful jawline and the hearts that goes with it. Man, I'm so excited to have you, brother. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
It's been a long time. I don't know if you remember me, but 10 years ago, you and Lisa Boone were on the float for AADP.
Yeah.
It's been
I don't know. Time flies. I can't believe it's 10 years already.
It's been 10 years. You're married.
I will say everyone looks exactly the same. You look exactly the same. Jonathan looks exactly the same. I don't think like time has changed. It's really like, we're in time warp. So
Asian don't raisin.
Yeah. John looks the same. He looks like Asian George Clooney. I'm like, this guy's handsome.
I did want to ask you.
Oh man, you're making me blush.
Just letting you know, fans, our audience, you can drop questions in the chat box for Yul, but just to kick it off, we have some questions for you too. And if you can still remember, what was your first reaction when you learned that Evan first was diagnosed with leukemia and he needed to have a match?
Oh man, that was, that was like 26 years ago. And God, I feel like I was just a kid at that point, and Evan was too. So, when he got the diagnosis, we didn't know what to make of it. Like, we knew it was really bad, but, it was just a state of shock. And then as we learned what it actually meant, and we learned over time that, like, he had the only shot of cure for him was to have a bone marrow transplant. And, back then, there were so few people. I mean, we still have the need today, but there are so few APIs have been registered that we were told that his chances of finding a match were 1 in 15,000, which was absolutely crazy. And once we heard that number, we just, I don't know, it just felt like our heart sank. And, but at that point, we didn't want to give up. Even knew the odds were against us. We felt like it was important to try our best for Evan to fight as hard as he could. And even if it wasn't going to work out for him, I think we all felt like we wanted to, use the time that we had to really celebrate and fight for the life that we could potentially hopefully save, but at the same time, like if this was how he was going to go, like we want to make it as meaningful and as full and rich as possible.
Absolutely. And it's just a beautiful thing, echoing Joey, it's like, we all wish we had friends like you. And you mentioned that you use your 15 minutes of fame, but honestly, you use like your entire life and beyond just 15 minutes of fame. You won Survivor, and that also meant a lot to Asian Americans watching this show, that you would represent in such a positive way. We often see so many stereotypes of Asians on screen, and you were like the real positive male Asian American role model that was like, we're not a joke. Like, I'm coming in here, going through every single obstacle, winning the $1 million, and utilizing my platform for such amazing things. It's such a testament to who you are as a person. And I guess I'd love for you to share with other people who might be going through these battles and just representing communities, multiple communities in different ways. Like, what advice would you give them?
You know, it's so yeah. When I got the opportunity to go on Survivor, it was really funny because I didn't apply. I got recruited. I was on that very controversial season where they had a war of the races. So for the first time and the last time ever, they divided the contestants based on race. And so, you know, back then they couldn't get enough Asian Americans to apply because Asian Americans, you know, at least back then didn't used to apply to be on reality shows. So they recruited me. And, you know, when I got the opportunity, I was really conflicted about it. Like I'm by nature very introverted, and I don't like being in the spotlight. I know it's ironic, you know, being on a reality show, but I've always been pretty shy, and I've never felt comfortable kind of being on the stage. And, you know, there were lots of reasons I went on. One of them was just growing up, I felt like there was a lack of Asian Americans in mainstream media. And when they did appear, they were often portrayed according to these stereotypes. And I felt like that really impacted the way that I looked at myself and the way that I defined myself. And, you know, it took me a really long time to find self-confidence. I always felt like I was on the outside. That was something that really got impressed on me when Evan got sick. You know, up to that point, I was still incredibly shy. But when we knew that we needed to try to raise visibility for this challenge and try to get more people to register for to become bone marrow donors, you know, I tried to find other leaders. I tried to find visible people within our community who could speak out. I tried to get like mainstream media to be interested. And it was just incredibly hard. Like there weren't a lot of people who had that platform. You know, there weren't a lot of issues that would be able to translate over to the broader community. And so I just remember thinking, you know, after Evan passed away, like, you know, gosh, I wish we had more of these opportunities. I wish we had more people who had a platform that we could come to and use for help. And you know, I just remember thinking when I got this opportunity to be on Survivor, like, you know, maybe this is something that might help. Like one, you know, if I saw someone who looked like me on television when I was a kid, I think it would have made a difference, you know, just to see someone who wasn't portrayed according to a caricature. And I also thought, like, you know, if I go on the show and I don't make a complete fool of myself, you know, maybe I might have a platform to try to refocus that attention towards something that I thought was more important. So yeah, that's, you know, why I went on the show. And again, I had no, you know, I really didn't think I was winning. My only goal is to not be the first one voted off. Like I was so sure I was going to get voted off immediately. And, you know, it didn't happen, and I got all the way through the end. And so the thing that I tell people now is, it's funny because like after I won, I got all this publicity, and I think people started holding me up as this sort of role model. And, you know, I went to speak to a lot of students, and I'd see like Asian moms telling their kids like, hey, you got to be like this person. And that actually just made me really uncomfortable because that's the opposite of how I felt growing up. Like growing up, I had a lot of social anxiety issues. I was bullied a lot. I had some pretty severe kind of challenges that I hid for most of my life. You know, I had severe OCD. I had this thing called there was a form of social anxiety where anytime I felt like people would look at me, I would break out in this intense sweat. And that itself just made me even more self-conscious because I knew it could happen, and like it just triggered that anxiety. And I had this one experience when I was in elementary school where a lot of the older kids would bully the minority kids like me, and what they would do is they'd hide out in the bathroom. And so it got pretty bad to the point where the kids would try to grab us and then hold us against the wall while the other kids took turns urinating on them, right? And scared the hell out of all of us. And you know, I always managed to run away, but it just made me so scared of going to the bathroom that I developed a condition called paruresis, which is known as shy bladder syndrome. And what it means is that you get so anxious around other people, you can't go to the bathroom in public spaces. And this was something that like affected every minute of my life. Like I was afraid to go out to ball games, to movie theaters, to like even the mall, because I could never know if I could go to the bathroom or not. And it was one of those things that I hid for all of my life. I just thought there was something wrong with me and I couldn't do something that every other person could do. And so I thought about all this stuff, and, you know, it took me a very long time to incrementally just build that confidence. Like I started trying to like change myself a little bit every day, a little bit, you know, keep telling myself it's okay if I fail, but as long as I'm making progress, as long as I'm committed to that process, I can I can grow over time. And I think over time I was able to make a lot of progress. And then after Survivor, you know, the last thing I wanted was for parents to kind of point to me as this like impossible standard. And so I started, even though it was hard, like I started talking about these issues and these challenges that I had, because I didn't want people to think that I was perfect. I had these like really severe imperfections that I hid for most of my life. And so for me, ironically, opening up gave me, it felt like a big weight had been lifted off my shoulder. And the more I talked about these issues, the more I had Asian American kids coming up to me and saying, like, I have some of those problems, or I've felt the same way, and I haven't heard someone talking about these issues. I've always felt like I had to be a certain way in front of my parents and my friends. And so that's the thing that I would tell people, like, it's okay. Like, I think there's a lot of pressure in our community to be a certain way, to hide like failings and imperfections. And what I try to tell people is like, it's okay to be different. It's okay to feel alone. I was the same way. All that really matters, it doesn't matter how you start, but all that matters is where you get to. And that's something that everyone has the ability and capability to do. And so, yeah, I mean, more than anything, that's what I would tell people. Like, if people knew how it was and how much I was able to change over time. And again, I think the whole experience with Evan was a really pivotal moment of my life, where it kind of forced me to come out of my shell and realize that there are other things that are more important in life. And those are things that if you want to have an impact, then you have to like push yourself outside of your shell.
Wow. Well, you are such a role model, Yul. Thank you for that. And thank you for sharing your story. I'm sure that was such a traumatizing thing. But again, like both you and Joey are testaments of turning pain into something that can help other people. And I just want to bring up two questions that we got in the chat while you were talking. Let's see where it goes. So Carmen asks, how did your life change after Survivor?
Yeah, it was pretty interesting, you know, like at one point when I realized that I might actually win, I was more scared of winning than anything else. Because for someone who's as introverted as I was, like I knew like suddenly getting that spotlight was just something that really scared the heck out of me. And you know, after I won, it was really disorienting. Like you get all this attention, people recognize you. The one thing I kept telling myself though was like, I didn't want this to change me. I didn't want to change who I am. I saw a lot of other people in the Survivor community who get that attention, and it does change them over time. You know, you get kind of addicted to that attention, and you know, some of them kind of just use it for just really frivolous type things. And I just really told myself, this is kind of a test of who I am and how committed I am to the things that I know are important. So for me, like it did change my life in a very superficial way, but I think it didn't change me in any really fundamental ways. And you know, I told myself when I look back in 10 years, I don't want to feel like I wasted this opportunity on silly things, but to use it, hopefully to try to do something that actually makes a difference and helps other people.
Wow.
That's amazing. That's so awesome. And before I forget, ladies and gentlemen, in-person lunch with my brother, Yul, my brother. You guys gonna have so much fun. And I don't. What kind of food do you like, Yul? Do you got any restrictions?
Okay.
Any allergies?
No, I eat anything. You know, after you go on Survivor, you'll eat anything that moves.
Right. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I don't know. It just says dinner with you, but I don't know if it's like your choice. Like, is there a spot in the Bay Area that you like to go to? That you're like, oh,
I'll really, you know, I'll leave it open to anyone. Like if whoever wants to, you know, is crazy enough to actually be having lunch with me, I'll take you wherever you want to go. It's my treat. And if you don't have any ideas,
no, I'm just kidding.
We'll have a Survivor style lunch with Yul.
One grain of rice. That's it. Like on the Survivor diet.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Well, make sure you all auction. Go to the AADP.org/auction for your chance to have an in-person lunch with Yul Kwon. Again, all the proceeds for his auction and everything else on that page will go back to AADP to continue the life-saving work. And before we end, I did see a comment I wanted to share with you, Yul, but Cal Fam says that he's a Lambda from UC Davis. That's where I'm from.
Wow.
And
Right.
he signed up and donated his stem cells in 2009. If it weren't for you introducing AADP to us, that might not have happened. So thank you, Yul.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I got to give a huge shout out to the Lambdas. You know, I was part of the Lambda Phi Epsilon along with Evan, and they really stepped up. I mean, I I remember just trying to decide when I was in college, like, do I want to join a fraternity? It just seems like they party all the time. But in that moment of need, like, our brothers really stood up for us. They helped us organize those drives. And not only that, but all the brothers across all the chapters around the country all made, bone marrow drives and AADP their national philanthropy. And like for years and years, they continue doing this every year. It's been incredible. So yeah, huge shout out. And again, at the end of the day, like this is all, it's all something we do together. Like it's not me, it's not any individual person. I think the people who really deserve the most credit, like Jonathan, Carol, I mean, you have been such a source of strength and inspiration and a pillar for this community. You stood up this amazing organization that's continuing strong after 30 years. It's such a credit to you, and I can't thank you enough. I don't think all of us can thank you enough. So congratulations. I'm so happy and proud of you.
Well, thank you so much, Yul, for your time. Now we are going to take a look at the second decade of AADP. During this period of time, AADP not only continued to work closely with patients of the community, but they also started some advocacy campaigns. So let's take a look.
AADP's second decade was full of firsts that left a lasting change on our organization and communities. In 2001, we sponsored a family from Pakistan who came to AADP with no notice. Their daughter, Mahi, was born with thalassemia major, and they came to us to help find a cure.
Mahi Taban was born with thalassemia major, a blood disorder which prevents the production of red blood cells. An email to Carol Gillespie of the Asian American Donor Program in Alameda led to the Khans coming to the Bay Area.
In 2002, I became the executive director and continued to work closely with the family and our community partners to make sure that Mahi survived. Eventually, in 2004, Mahi received one of the first cord blood transplants at Children's Hospital in Oakland. They had the first thalassemia program and department in the country.
And she's grown 4 inches since her transplant, which is really amazing. And she's growing up quickly.
In 2006, we switched from collecting blood samples to collecting cheek samples, which made it much easier for people to sign up. The following year, we worked with patients and their families who would become lifelong supporters of Asian American Donor Program, like Dr. Lam Do, whose son Luke received a bone marrow transplant. Now he's dedicated to helping raise awareness about stem cell donation and is an advocate for getting more diverse donors signed up. He also created Team Supermarrow, a competitive racing group. In 2007, we held our first Barry Foon Legacy Golf Tournament. This was in honor of Barry Foon, who had passed away from lymphoma. His family helped us raise money to support the registration of more than 10,000 new donors over the years. Alan Marvella worked with us to host our first comedy benefit, Laugh for Lives. It gave us a way to not just raise awareness, but to give the community a time to come together and enjoy a night of lighthearted fun. But it wasn't always fun and games of golf. We kept up our advocacy efforts and lobbied for the state of California to require employers to provide 5 days of paid leave if their employees were asked to donate. Before that, a donor would have to choose between saving a life and making a living to support their families. In December 2010, Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger signed a bill called the Michelle Macon Memorial Donation Act. Michelle was a patient of ours who passed away from leukemia. We worked with her mother, Megan Williams, not only to honor her daughter, but to help other patients waiting for a stem cell transplant.
The legislation we celebrate here today will bring the promise of life-saving transplants closer within reach of all Californians.
On the day of the signing, there were other government officials, patient families, and even Steve Jobs was there to make a speech.
This new law will save thousands of lives in California each year.
It was a great way to end our second decade.
Wow.
Wow.
Incredible. And I've had the privilege of working with all those folks in the video since volunteering with AADP since 2005. I mean, Michelle Macon's case was the first one that really activated kind of the Asian American YouTubers to care about what this was. You know, Barry Foon, Lisa Foon's husband, the golf tournament. I remember doing golf tournaments to raise money for cancer in that way. And then I had the privilege of interviewing Dr. Doe about his son who had a leukemia and a transplant, a donor transplant. So it's just been incredibly moving. And I literally got so teared up because we just found out from our producers that we had some major donors that donated during this past time. Joey, I feel like I said the last ones. Do you want to say them?
Yes. I like to give a shout out to Amrut for $600. Thank you so much.
That's incredible.
Yes, and my brother Yul, thank you for 10,000, brother.
Yeah, Yul Kwon just donated $10,000 during the stream. Like that, he's such a hero in so many ways. Not only can he come on, testify, and continue to advocate. Thank you so much, Yul. Again, everyone's donation means so much. And also to Michael, who donated $500. This is incredible. Like, you guys are going to get me crying over here, but this is incredible. Seriously, the donate button to the right of the stream, make sure we're just trying to raise as much money as possible to get as many more bone marrow donors on the registry. So if it's in your hearts, please click that green button and check out the part. And hopefully we'll get to shout out your name from our producers in the chat as well.
Yes, donate anytime by clicking the green button. And remember in the previous video, they mentioned the first patient who found a compatible donor was Donna. We're honored to have her here tonight with her donor, Sanjay. And also along with AADP's executive director, Carol, one of my favorite people in the whole world, she'll be interviewing them. Carol, take it away.
So, hello. I want to thank you both, Sanjay and Donna, for joining our 30th anniversary, 600 Cranes. I appreciate you coming and talking to our AADP community. Thanks for joining.
And thank you for inviting us.
Yeah. So, Donna, let's start out with you.
Yeah, I was diagnosed with chronic myelogenous leukemia when I was 9 years old. And so I needed a bone marrow transplant in order to save my life. Unfortunately, no one in my family related to me was a match. And so we needed to find an unrelated donor immediately.
And how about you, Sanjay? What was your story? Why did you register?
I didn't know, but my friend knew about this. So we were in San Francisco after having a dinner, and she just led me into the event where she wanted to register, and I said, sure, I'll go along with you as well.
Great.
And that's how we registered. I think it was held in Fairmont Hotel.
So I want to point out something that is very obvious to the viewers. Sanjay, you're Indian, South Asian, and Donna, you're Filipino. So this is a very unusual case that the two of you have matched, because it doesn't happen very often. What do you guys feel about that?
Yeah, me too. When I first met her, I was surprised. It's like, wow. Because I too was expecting saying my ethnicity, right? Indian.
I did know that he was Asian descent, but I didn't know he was in South Asian.
So when did you first meet Sanjay?
It was back in 1994, and I remember this very distinctly because it was a surprise. And AADP arranged all of this with my family. Basically, they just introduced us, and I was like, Sanjay, my donor, wow. Oh, yeah.
So tell me what's been happening in the last 30 years.
I was able to go to college, get married, and, during college, continuously advocated for AADP. And luckily, too, I was able to work for AADP for a couple of years, and continue to help out.
So Sanjay, what have you been doing for the past 30 years?
Been busy, I guess.
Yeah.
So I got 3 kids now.
Oh.
So one of them will be 29 next week. And my youngest one just turned 21 last week.
Wow.
And I switched jobs since then. Been with the same company for almost 26 years.
Wow.
November 7th will be 26 years. And I did too. I went back to school and I finished my bachelor's degree in engineering and kind of left the master's in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm too busy with the kids and jobs.
Yeah.
But, I've been traveling a lot too from work.
Mm-hmm. So, seeing how there's lots of people looking at this interview, and we have a great community to support here, what would you like to say to the community? Donna,
Sure,
go for it.
Go ahead.
For the community now, sometimes the saying goes, it takes the village. It takes the village to help people out and get things. And honestly, for this situation, I feel like it only takes one person to help another person out. And I'm here today because of that one selfless person in that danger. I continue to be grateful for him because I'm able to live my life up until today.
How about you, Sanjay?
Yeah, I mean, just look at her.
Yeah.
Look at her smile.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you do it just for that? And see the love in her eyes?
Mm-hmm.
It's just awesome. Yeah, so I would say highly encourage everyone to go out there. More people are in the system, there are chances that you're going to save somebody's life. Yeah. And it's just an honor.
Well, thank you both so much. And I really appreciate you being here tonight with all of us. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Good night.
Oh my gosh.
Donna.
Can I just say, just hearing Sanjay, and he's an angel.
Mm-hmm.
He's an angel, and I think true happiness is in giving.
Yep.
Nikki, would you agree?
Totally agree. Again, like if I was called to be a bone marrow donor or somebody's bone marrow donor, I would do it in a heartbeat. And I'm sure the same would be for you too. And like, you know, you never know who you're helping. Like when you needed a bone marrow transplant, Joey, like, you don't know. That's the crazy thing is you're never going to know who you helped until like a year later, because it's not like you get to know each other's information. But this is just a testament to Carol and Jonathan and everybody at AADP's work for the last 30 years. Again, I can't reiterate how long this organization has been around, for 30 years helping to save lives. So it's like cheers to 30 more years. And, you know, 600 Cranes, the name for tonight's event is 600 Cranes for 600 lives that AADP has saved in 30 years. Let's get to 1,000 Cranes and beyond that. So it's just so amazing to see Sanjay and Donna doing so well. And again, everything that we do today is to make more stories like that happen, to see more patients and their donors meet. Like, let's continue doing that together.
Yes. And again, if you're looking for some holiday gifts for your family and friends, make sure you check out our silent auction page at AADP.org/auction. And there's some other things I didn't mention too. There's wine. Oh my gosh. You know what's expensive because I can't pronounce it? Yeah. Chardonnay. Yeah, Chardonnay. And Merlot. Yes.
I can tell someone does not drink wine, but that is okay. I know other people would love a case of Merlot or Chardonnay.
Oh my God! Yeah, I went to the wine tasting for the first time. Oh my God! I don't know what to say. Everyone's all, you know, like they're like,
Just like that, Joey. Just like that.
Yeah, I smell the berries and the fruit, and I was like, you got ice? You have ice?
Oh gosh.
Raw too, although.
Joey. Well, by the way, you can always make a donation to support AADP by clicking the green donation button on the right side of the screen. Again, every click counts. Again, I want to reference the stats one more time that in the Asian American community, in the multi-ethnic community, we have a 41% chance or less survival rate of finding a match. So let's definitely increase those chances. So when we do get the diagnosis that we have cancer and we need a match, that we have more than a 77% chance. I mean, it'd be great if we all had a 100% chance of finding a donor when we get those diagnoses, but we're still working our way up there. But those are the stats.
All
I think
right.
we have one more video before our main ad.
Yes. Now it's time for the last decade of AADP. Let's see what they have accomplished for the past 10 years.
AADP's third decade looks at the impact of patients, the impact of process changes, and the impact of environmental changes on how AADP conducts recruitment and outreach efforts. In 2011, AADP began a campaign for Amit Gupta, the founder of Photo Jojo and an extremely well-known entrepreneur. He was diagnosed with AML in October of 2011 and started treatment immediately. Amit's story began to circulate news outlets and social media within days. Thousands of individuals stepped up to see if they could save Amit. With the help of his extensive network and AADP, Amit hosted over 100 drives across the globe. One of the biggest drives was held at Google, where we registered over 471 donors in just one day. About 1 year later, Amit was matched with an unrelated donor and underwent a successful transplant. Due to Amit's story, AADP became well known in the community, and in the years following his campaign, we continued to receive leads and contacts that were inspired by Amit's story and were motivated to take action. Like Amit's campaign, Lara's campaign in 2016 gained national and international recognition. Although Lara was based in the UK, her friends, family, and total strangers banded together to host hundreds of drives across the globe, resulting in 3,000 registrations just in the first week of the campaign. One of the biggest AADP drives for Lara was held at Stanford University. AADP helped register 860 donors just that day with the help of her uncle, who was a faculty member at Stanford. To this day, Lara's uncle is a big supporter of AADP and opens doors for us to continue registration efforts at Stanford. In 2018, AADP faced one of the biggest changes in process. The entire Be the Match network made the switch from physical paper consent forms and swabs in the field to a completely digital model. Donors filled out a form on their phone or laptop and received swab kits in the mail 3 to 7 days later. The lack of swabs impacted the entire network and brought registration numbers to an all-time low. However, because of AADP's mission to continually save patient lives, we adapted and created new, engaging ways to recruit donors.
Here's a great story. A team of relentless individuals cycling over 3,000 miles across the U.S. left today in hopes of bringing awareness for leukemia. All proceeds will go to the Asian American Donor Program, which focuses on encouraging ethnic marrow donors and raises awareness on the importance of joining the Be the Match National Registry.
We held our first virtual reality event at SF State with the help of ASU, as well as our first marathon at UC Berkeley. In 2019, due to network pushback, swabs were reintroduced in the field, making recruitment much more memorable and successful in the field. As AADP continued our work in the community and geared up for the 12th annual Laugh for Lives comedy show, everything was halted 2 days before the event as California placed a ban on all indoor gatherings and ordered a shelter in place due to COVID-19. As with other businesses, AADP felt the impact immediately. Over 20 planned events were canceled and many postponed indefinitely as businesses and corporations shut their doors to in-person interactions overnight. Prior to shutdown, we began ramping up our campaign for Mahesh, a South Asian father and husband. With the help of his son Amrit, we were able to pivot our entire recruitment model online and continue to recruit donors despite the lack of live events. We set up a patient website and began sending kits to donors overnight. In just a little over a month, AADP was able to send out close to 800 kits in the mail and landed in Be the Match's top recruiters during the peak of COVID closures. The impact of Mahesh's campaign still holds today, as AADP has moved to a home kit model as a standard for our recruitment until we are able to be back in the community with you all.
All right, Nicki. Wow. I just want to say, yeah, that was a great video. And I want to give a shout out and a big thank you to Kim and Stephanie for donating $300. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And $500. I mean, those were separate. Those are separate donations. We got $300 from Kim and $500 from Stephanie. Thank you so much for donating.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Incredible.
Thank you.
Amazing. And Joey, I think we're really excited for this next act.
Oh my gosh, I'm excited. You know, Nicki, I'm a big fan of America's Got Talent. Oh my gosh, I can't believe he's in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're ready to be entertained, say, "Oh yeah."
Oh yeah. I'm saying it for everybody in the audience.
Yeah. We got America's Got Talent winner, Shin Lim, and he's ready to show off some amazing magic tonight. But guess what? People at home, grab a deck of cards because you're going to be part of the show and experience. That's right, to feel his magic in 3D. Yes, get those deck of cards. Hurry, go.
While you're getting those deck of cards, we also have a special guest joining us for the act with Shin Lim, Lisa Foon. She has been a huge supporter of AADP, the organizer of Barry Foon Legacy Golf Tournament, and Lisa, me, and Yul were on the same float together way back when. So let's please give a warm welcome to Shin Lim and Lisa Foon.
Yay!
Hey everybody, how's it going?
Hey,
all right, guys. So I just want to make this really important before we begin. So we didn't plan any of this prior to. No, like I didn't tell you to think of a certain card or anything like that. This is the first time that we're doing this. Yes, I just needed to confirm that for everyone at home. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Wait, Lisa, are you able to talk? Because I don't. Are you? I'm
I can hear. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Perfect. Okay, great. So now, while everyone's grabbing their cards at home, okay, I'm going to show you right now that these cards are all indeed different. Yes, I can show you one more time like this. Now I'm going to begin shuffling the cards, but in an interesting way to kind of prove, or rather to kind of overprove that these cards are indeed normal. So we can do something like this, or we can even do something simple like a spring. And maybe do something a little bit more complex and geometric like this. And then we can do something super fair, which is called a tarot shuffle. Every single card is shuffled one after the other. And then of course we got something simple like a regular shuffle here. We can do a cut with one hand. And then we can do two cuts with one hand, like that. And then we can do something called well, this is pretty much just juggling with cards. All right. So Lisa, that's fair enough. Yes, every single card is different.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So now, Lisa, I want you to do something. Grab any 4 cards from the deck that you want to, and everyone at home do the exact same thing. Okay, so grab 4 random cards from the deck. It really doesn't matter. So I'll grab 4 completely random cards. It doesn't matter. And then shuffle it up. Mix up those 4 cards in your hands. Okay. All right, so and hopefully if you guys all do this at home, and hopefully Lisa, if you do this properly, it might work for you, okay? Or it might not. It'll be very embarrassing if it doesn't work, so we'll see if it works, okay? Everyone hold their cards sideways like this, horizontally, okay? Not lengthwise. Don't hold it like that. Hold it horizontally, okay? Because you're about to do something very drastic. You're gonna just simply tear all 4 cards in half. Go ahead. Yeah, really? Lisa, you can do it. You're strong. You can do it. There we go. Perfect. All right, and then you're going to take 1/2 and place it on top of the other. So because you have 2 packets, right? One goes on top of the other. It doesn't matter which way it goes, okay? So you should leave it a spread like that. All right, now, Lisa, completely your choice. Any number between 1 to 5. Go ahead. Just say it out loud.
3.
3. You sure?
Yep.
Okay, great. Everyone, follow Lisa's directions. Take the top 3 cards. See what I'm doing? I'm taking the top 3 cards and place it into the middle. Exactly like how I'm doing it. Okay, pretty much you're kind of just mixing up the cards according to whatever card number Lisa said, which was 3. All right, so and then now grab the new top card and place that into your pocket. Okay, if you don't have a pocket, you can sit on the card or you can eat the card. No, I'm just kidding. Don't eat the card. This is the best thing. I do that to myself. All right, so you have the cards. Now, Lisa, you said 3, right? All right.
Yeah.
take as many cards from the middle, like kind of like this, and just toss it away until you're left with 3 cards. So keep tossing as many cards from the middle until you're left with 3 cards. Okay, 3 completely random cards.
Okay.
So everyone's doing the same thing at home, okay? Because if you didn't follow along, then that's too bad. I'm very sorry. All right, now Lisa, we got the bottom, we have the middle, and we got the top card. Completely up to you. What do you want? Top, middle, bottom. Go ahead. Your choice.
I'll take the middle.
Middle? Okay. Everyone, exactly what Lisa said. Everyone take the middle card, toss it away. All right? Okay. All right, Lisa. This is the final 2. We got the top and we got the bottom. This is your choice, okay? Whatever you say, that's the one we're going to go with.
Let's go with the top.
The top. Okay, so everyone take the top card. Same exact thing that we've been doing. Everyone take the top card, throw it away. All right? Now, Lisa, you've eliminated all of these cards until we're left with genuinely your selection. And hopefully, if you did this right, everyone reach into their pocket or whatever that the other card that we placed away, grab that card. And you see, hopefully, not only does the backs of it match, but actually so does the face of it. Lisa, does it match? Yeah, oh yeah, there we go.
Matches! Oh my God. Amazing!
And that's all you. That wasn't me. That was your decision. You thought of every single number. And we, by the way, we didn't plan any of this. No, it's not like I told you to pick the number 3.
No.
I didn't tell you to eliminate the top one first, then the middle one. No, this was all just.
No.
Okay, cool. Because the thing about the Knicks effect is, it's going to seem almost too impossible. Okay, I'll show you what I mean. So like, let's say if we grab here, obviously the cards are different, right? Every single card is in this deck is different, right? Yes, it's,
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, great. So I'm gonna riffle down the deck like this, right? You just say stop at any point, okay? Any point at all.
Stop.
Right there. Okay, you're gonna take a look at the card. I'm not gonna look at it.
Okay.
Right. Actually, as a matter of fact, I'll leave it sticking out. That way you can kind of visually see it. I would say it's about 25 cards, more or less, into the deck. Okay, see, the thing about it is we magicians, we don't really tell you exactly what's happening, which kind of makes things not really fair. We can actually move the ink and manipulate it, so the ink can actually go from the center and actually move right down to the bottom. Was that your card, the Queen of Spades?
Yes.
Yes, but you see, we can actually just shake it like this, and then now it's no longer, see, now it's no longer a, now it's actually the Queen of Clubs. You know why? Because the top card is actually the Queen of Spades. Now, see, we can actually manipulate these things. For example, let's use another card. This is not the Queen of Spades at all. This is 7 of Hearts. But watch, I can actually change it. 1, 2, 3, and then now it changes right into the Queen. We can also take the Queen right over here and almost grab the ink over here and place it onto my chest. So now it's right over there. But yeah, anyways, my mom wasn't too happy about that. And then we can grab, let's say, the Queen of Hearts. And we can actually take that Queen, touch it onto the chest. It turns back into the Queen of Spades. But see, we can do things like that where we manipulate the ink and we can take advantage of it. But this time I want it to be all on you, okay, Lisa? Because that was all happening on my end, yes? So first I'm going to show you the trick, and then I can teach you how to possibly do it in the future. All right, it's all about visualization. It's all kind of how you're seeing things, and sometimes if you visualize something, it can really, really happen. Okay. And I'm also going to try to be as fair as possible. So I've been shuffling this exact same deck, yes, for the past couple of minutes, and I would say it's very fair. Yes, everything seems normal to you at least. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Great. And I haven't gotten anywhere near this box, to be honest. I'm going to do what most magicians don't do, and I'm going to be the most fair out of all of them, I would have to say. Because you see, for predictions, usually magicians would hide the prediction and then they would reveal it later on. But for the first time, I'm actually going to show you the prediction. You're going to pick the Queen of Diamonds. I know that doesn't actually really make too much sense right now, but it'll make sense in a bit, okay?
Okay.
So we have this deck of cards. I want you to tell me to just say stop at any point, and I'm going to grab 4 to 5 cards right there. All right, I'm going to grab these one. Go ahead, say stop again.
Stop.
Right there. All right, and let's do one last pile here.
Stop.
Right there. Okay. Sweet. So we have about, I would say, 30 cards or so in this packet. All right. Now this is completely up to you, okay? And again, we didn't plan any of this, no?
No.
No, at least, okay, great. All right, so I'm gonna deal these cards down onto this little pad here, and whenever you want, just say stop at any time. Okay, so go ahead.
Stop.
Right here. Okay,
Yeah.
you sure? You want this card over here that's face down, or you want this card over here?
The
or you want to
face
keep
down
going?
one. The face down.
This one right over here.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna just be very, very fair. Okay. Every single card is different. But you said stop right at this specific face down card.
Yes.
Okay, everything is, I know, very random and very messy. But for some reason, it is impossibility. It really is impossible because there's actually only one Queen of Diamonds. But if you visualize something enough, you see somehow you actually said stop right on the Queen of Diamonds, which is very crazy. So tell you what, I want to kind of teach you how to do this. See, if you really focus on certain things moving and the ink shifting, it can actually really help with it. So we're going to do the exact same thing, okay, Lisa? I'm going to riffle down again. You just say stop at any point while I'm riffling. Yeah, okay?
Stop.
Right there. Okay, you sure?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so take a look at the card. That's the first card, okay?
Okay.
Take a look. I won't even look. So that's the first card.
Yep.
Okay. All right, that's the second card.
Yep.
All right, that's the third card. All right, we'll both try to remember it because I realized that usually we use 3 people for this, but you're the only one. So you're just going to have to try to remember all 3 for me, okay? All right, so watch. We got the Joker, we got the 6, and we got the 9. All right, so watch this very carefully. See, all you have to do is we can take the first card. We try to visualize the first card appearing. And what was the first card? It was the Joker, right?
Joker.
Yeah, like this. But then the second card, see, this part's the hard part. The second part's the 6, and this Joker obviously isn't the 6, so if you kind of visualize the ink separating into 6 different spots, and then eventually,
oh my God,
turning into the 6. What was the third card, the last card? It was the 9 of spades, right?
Yes.
Watch. So we can turn it into a 9. So let's visualize those pips just slowly shifting and turning into a 9, but that's the wrong 9. Yeah, see, that's why you got to visualize even more, like that. And now it becomes the 9 of spades, the last card that you picked.
Incredible.
And that is it. Thank you so much, Lisa, for helping me out. Thank you so much, guys, and thank you guys for contributing so much and saving Asian American lives. Thank you, guys. My name is Shin Lim. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. Oh my God.
That was incredible.
Oh my, I was like this.
Oh my God. The entire time.
That was amazing. I wish he is more than magic. I know he can fix my credit score. This guy is amazing. He just changed the numbers. My FICO, brother.
Oh my gosh.
Lisa, whoa.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know
what an incredible experience. We have Lisa and Shin, who is, by the way, a 2-time America's Got Talent winner. And you could hopefully see a show soon in Vegas when everything opens up. So that's pretty exciting. If you are planning to go to Vegas, make sure to catch his show in Vegas. But you guys and ladies and gents, we are approaching the end of the show, and we all hope you had such a great time tonight. We thank you so much for tuning in from wherever you are in your comfy cozies, or if you dressed up. Thank you so much for tuning in and donating. Again, we will have our silent auction available until Sunday. So if you want that lunch with Yul Kwon, or if a private book Zoom reading with Olympian Christy Yamaguchi, make sure you head over to AADP.org/auction. Again, that's available until Sunday, and continue to donate. Click that green button. And just a reminder that when you exit, make sure you, I guess you would say, check out in your cart. It's just like Amazon. You can put a pledge in, but if you sign out before putting your credit card information in, it's not gonna count. So make sure you do that. And let me look at how we are doing. Wow. Joey, you ready for this?
Yes, I'm ready. I'm ready.
$28,000.
Oh my
$28,000. You guys, can we get to 30,000? I just like round numbers. So if you are still on and able to
we go to 30, I'm gonna do the dance. I'm just gonna do the dance.
You're gonna do the dance.
Yes.
30,000.
One shoulder off. I'm just.
One shoulder up? Oh no, we gotta do it for the Joey birthday dance.
Oh, the birthday dance, yes.
If we can get to $30,000, that means $100 to save to register one bone marrow donor. We can get 300 more bone marrow donors registered today. So I just like round numbers. If we can get to 30,000, that would be amazing. Joey, you have another auction item too?
Yeah. Before I announce this auction, I just want to give a shout out for the people behind the scenes. Iwe and let's see, and Mylena, thank you so much. They're behind the scenes. They're working all the magic. They're helping us, to stay on time and letting us know what the haps. Oh man, Carol, Jonathan, you guys are amazing. But yeah, okay, here we go. Also, we heard Kendra Scott, the jewelry company, has a special program to support AADP this weekend. Make sure to visit AADP's website and social media for more information on that. So if you like some gold jewelry.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. Well, again, thank you all so much. We'll keep our donations going. You can always go to AADP.org for more information, for more donations, to register as a bone marrow donor yourself, request an at-home kit, go to the auction. Also just want to give a shout out to my dad. Like, this show's for you, Daddy.
Can I just say something? Your
Yes.
dad is just so proud of you. I feel it in my bones. He's just smiling, and you know what? You're just a beautiful person, and your dad is amazing. And I just loved being the presence of your dad, and I want to thank you for letting him chill in the back right there the whole time. Every time I saw him, yes.
You were always his favorite comedian, Joey. So.
Oh, I love your daddy. I love you.
Thanks for saying that. But gonna make me cry. But thank you so much. It was such a pleasure co-hosting with you. I really want to bring back Jonathan, Leong, and Carol again to close out the show. But thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. And
thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, that's a fantastic job. You guys did great. Nicki, you are totally a double of your dad. Your dad had amazing energy, enthusiasm. He was amazing, and you have picked up 100% of his personality. It's like, hey George, oh, that's Nicki. But really like to thank everybody. Just remember, 600 cranes is just the beginning. 30 years is still just the beginning. 600 cranes mean we facilitated over 600 transplants. The 99% of those 600 transplants never would have happened without the volunteers like you volunteering to be donors. Without the register increasing in numbers, we need to increase that number into the thousands as soon as possible. So whether you're any specific ethnic background, you're 18 to 44 years old, just if you're watching the past, you can text us and we can get a kit to you and you can be a part of the solution. We truly appreciate your participation and thank you for coming. Thank you.
And thank you for all the patients and donors actually that joined this evening. Really appreciate that, and former staff members and volunteers. So appreciate all your involvement. Thank you for hanging in there with us and for another 30 years. Thank you.
All right, super. Hopefully we're not around for 30 years because there's got to be a cure. So when that cure is, then we're out of here.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Okay, take care.
Yay!
You did great. Thank you. Thank you, Yul, Nicki,
Oh,
Lisa, Joey, very much. I appreciate all your time and effort and donations. I can't thank you enough. I just want to go home and cry. Really appreciate it.
this was
Yeah.
a
Thank
really
you,
nice-
Carol. You've been amazing. And Nikki, too, you guys did an amazing job. Lisa, it's so wonderful to see you again.
So good to
And
see you.
yeah, thank you for everything you've given for the last 30 years. Like, I mean, we're the ones who should be thanking you. So
Yeah.
so much.
Appreciate it all.
Carol,
Thank
you're
you.
a queen.
No,
A queen in gray hair now. Look at that.
we're like looking through like the decades of AADP. I'm like, damn, girl.
He drives a stick
Thanks
shift.
again, guys. I really appreciate it. Love to everybody.
okay.
Yes,
No,
thank
all
you.
right.
guys.
And
Take care.
nice.
Good night. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.